All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Power of Praise podcast conversation tonight. Yes, I have a special guest. Can my guest see me out there?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can
Yeah.
see you.
Oh,
Yes, we can.
am I okay?
You're
Yes,
perfect.
you are.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, tonight I want to just jump right into it in just a minute. I want to thank my special guest tonight that is on my podcast, and that is none other than Ernest Jackson and Tamika Jackson. And they have let me go ahead and cut this music down in the background, but they have very important information they want to share with you guys tonight. I believe it's going to be a helpful tool about estate planning and so much more they're going to share with us tonight. So I'm excited about it. And let me introduce them to you. And also, Pastor Jones is sitting in with us. He may have questions or a comment to state on tonight, but we're going to use our time very wisely. And that is to share with you information regarding estate planning, trust fund, and so much more that we're going to be talking about tonight. So chime in your comments and just let us know what you're thinking. You have any questions? Hopefully we'll be able to answer them. If we don't be able to answer them right away, we definitely will reach back out to you to try to answer any questions you may have. So good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
The Jacksons.
All right.
Good evening, Jacksons. Can
Good
you see me,
evening.
Jackson? I was wondering what happened to you guys. Okay.
We're here.
We are here. We're excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Can you hear
on.
me okay?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And I want to also let the people know that this is my niece and nephew, and they are entrepreneurs, and they have business that God has given them to help others. So again, I want to jump right into it. I guess I'll start with Tamika. They said ladies first. So Tamika, thank you so much again. Huh? What'd you say, Ernest?
No, I'm just.
He's pretending to be me.
That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work very well tonight, okay?
Exactly.
So I want to jump right into this subject. I want to jump right into the subject of talking with you guys about estate planning. Exactly what do estate planning mean, just in case somebody is tuning in and have no idea what that means.
Well, basically, estate planning is planning what to do with your estate. A lot of people don't even know that they have an estate. But if they have a car, if they have a house, if they have a bank account, if they're over the age of 18, you have an estate. So when you're planning is putting everything in perspective, for when that time comes, whether it be transitioning or whether it be something happening, if you have to go into the hospital, do you have your power of attorneys in order? Do you have your advance directive in order? Do you have your medical and neuro stuff in order? That's all a part of estate planning. Right. It's also making sure that your finances are situated, especially within the trust fund. So it's all about the estate and making sure that it's in order for whether you're transitioning or even while you're living. It's really actually good because you're able to use your trust while you're living. You're able to move everything but still be active within doing what you do daily. Taking care of your home or taking care of your car, your finances. But when it's time, you'll give somebody that directive to be able to handle out your final instructions. So that's pretty much what estate planning is.
And so will that simply be in the event of your death? is mainly what estate planning is for, or just what you said a few minutes ago. I kind of want to piggyback on that. In your living, in case you get sick, is that kind of almost like power of attorney when you're in the hospital? Is that something similar to that?
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
really, your
Okay.
estate planning is not just for your death, but it is for while you're living. Is you can use the funds that's within the estate to take care of bills. It's a living trust. So your trust is living. You're living. It doesn't say since you passed, but it's a living thing that you can actually move actively into. There's some certain terms which we'll talk about that make it either you can't change it or where you're able to make changes while you're living. So this is something
Okay.
that you can constantly use. Yes.
Okay. And I want to just ask questions along the way, so that way I have an understanding of estate planning. So is this funds that are setting?
I'm sorry.
I say, is this fund, is this estate planning, is this funds that are set up like in a trust account?
It can be funds. It can also be your house. So, like, say for instance, you have a home.
Okay.
And your house has your name on the deed. It has Uncle Pastor's name on the deed. So what you would do is you don't want it to go to the state of Texas. You want it to go to someone within your family. So you transfer the way that the fund, that the trust comes active, is you transfer the home with a warranty deed within the trust. So you change the name. Instead of it being under your name and his name, it will be in the name of the trust. But you still run it and do everything that you're doing like you do on a daily. You choose somebody who you want to give the home to, and upon your transition, the home will automatically go directly over to that person, and the name would be transferred onto the deed. So that
goes with anything of value.
Right.
Anything you consider of value.
Correct.
It could be a home, it could be a watch collection.
Jewelry,
Yes.
And this would be in the event of your passing, right?
Correct.
You're planning.
So when do this estate planning goes into effect? Is it during a time of illness, or is it in the event of your death?
It's in the event of your death. It'll automatically go. It's active while you're living, but literally once you transition, it can't be changed anymore, and now it goes directly into effect where everything will go according to your wishes within that trust. So whatever you put in that trust, it'll, those wishes have to be carried out without issue.
And I believe, and I will, refer to my wife, but I believe that the only thing outside that's within that trust that may become active while you're living is the power of attorney.
No, so with everything is active. Your bank account you can transfer into the trust, and that's how you've heard the term trust fund babies. So the trust fund, so it's basically a checking account just changed into a trust account. And then you can take payments from it, just like you would normally take deposits from it. It'll pay out to you, distribute out to you the way you tell it to. So everything is active, but once you transition, then that's when the person who you designated will have to follow out your final instructions. So you're basically telling them this is
Okay.
what you're gonna do. You know, the house is going to transfer to this. These are the beneficiaries. They get this amount, and they'll actually have a copy of the trust, so they know exactly what's being distributed, whether it's finances, whether it's a home, whether it's your bags, you know, your purses, your assets. They know exactly how to handle those final wishes.
Right. Well, you know what? Is that something similar to a will, last testament will?
That's a
So
good question.
that's a good
Sound like
question.
the same.
There's a difference. So a will,
Okay.
and this is I think this is like one of my favorite parts. A will, you have a will is only upon death. Okay, a will is not living.
Okay.
Okay, a will
Okay.
is only going to happen when you die. A will automatically go into probate court. So even though you have a will, it has to go to probate so that the state of Texas can follow whatever those wishes are for according to your wishes in that will. But a trust is private. So once that trust is done, you put up your documentation, you put it all up, and then you let the person know who your trustee is going to be, where everything is. They'll also have their own copy. But a trust is living, which it can be used up until the time you pass. And then everything follows through upon your death.
And for me, dealing with the will part personally, one thing I can say about a will is it can get expensive. When you're going through court, through attorney fees. One of the other things that they did when I was dealing with it is they held back a portion of it in order to see if that person had any debt. And so they had to put an ad in the paper and just make sure there wasn't any debt before I was even, and then the taxes came out. All of this happened within a will. And I think what she's saying is a trust saves that for you.
Correct, because it carries credit protection. Right. So, in a will, they can come after your beneficiaries.
Right.
But in a trust with a certain clause, there's credit protection where they cannot come after the beneficiary. So if that beneficiary owes somebody in a will, they can come and get it.
Right.
But in a trust, there's a clause that stops all creditors from going after the beneficiary's money. So it will literally stop them, and they'll be able to take their distribution tax-free.
Tax-free.
So good information. So this is what I wanted to say in reference to that. Is it true or false? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. True or false? Isn't it true or false that a lot of people, especially African Americans, that really don't understand the difference between a will and a estate planning and the benefits of estate planning? Is that true or false?
No, it's true. So 21 to 23% of African Americans do not have a will. They do not have a trust, nor do they have an estate planned. 56 to 76% of all Americans do not have a will or a trust.
Or anything set up.
And up to 75% have nothing. So it's and that's in the African American culture.
It's across the board, honestly.
Correct. So across the board, over half of the country don't want
to talk about the afterlife until afterlife.
Mm. So this is a good topic because it gives people something to think about when it comes to your assets, and people work hard. You know, some people definitely have loved ones and friends, or maybe a caretaker that has been good to them, and they decide that this is what they want to do. And I'm sure this is highly recommended for anybody that is thinking about how they're going to leave their assets to anybody in particular instead of the state of Texas, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
What would you recommend one doing? Huh?
I would recommend.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I would recommend doing a trust. And the best thing about it is a trust does come with a pour over will. So anything that is not in that trust will be added to the pour over will. And then upon transitioning, now that pour over will does have to go to probate, but when they see that it is connected to a trust, they automatically take everything that's within the pour over and put it into the trust. And then it gets distributed. So, but and it's still kept private. So there's still, you know, there's no public information going on about that trust. Nobody will know how much, you know, is in it or what was in it because it's completely private. So I would most definitely suggest that everybody looks into getting a trust. It keeps your the fighting down. There's no conflict. It reduces the conflict between families.
Yes.
It reduces the conflict with anybody being confused, because we don't want we've been there, and and I said this in our last meeting. Our family was very blessed to be able to have our family business that took care of the funerals for our family members that have gone on home. But now we're the next generation, and we don't have anything in place. Now everybody is doing their own thing. It's not everybody working as a collective the way we were brought up. Everybody's doing their own thing. So it's best that we look at it now, because we're of age. There may be people going through health issues. One moment you're fine, and the next moment you wake up and there's something going on. It makes you think about, okay, do I have my affairs in order? So I will tell any and everybody, because now we know. We're here to educate. We didn't know in the past. Maybe our grandparents and our parents didn't know to be able to do this. We weren't raised like the Rockefellers, but we can be the Rockefellers now because we know we have access to be able to do it. Then you have people that believe, well, you can't afford a trust. No, yes, you can. If you can go and you can spend money on clothes and food and 5-6 days a week, you can afford a trust and you can afford a will. And it's best to go ahead and do that. You don't want to see your family members fighting. You want to have peace in your home. You're doing this out of love. You're not, you're making sure that, hey, when this happens, there's no arguments, because everybody already knows exactly what to do.
And then one of the biggest arguments within it, without a will or anything, is who gets to bury you and how do they get to bury you. And that's a scary thing when you have 2-3 children, or a husband or a wife, and then the children want to do one thing and the husband or the living surviving spouse wants to do another. There's some issues with that. Wherefore, in the trust, you can set up who you want to handle those affairs, how you want it done. All of that is clear.
Literally, it's time out for GoFundMes when you can already be prepared to have everything in order. And we see so many GoFundMe accounts on Facebook and all those social medias. People trying to raise money, and that's why, because there's no will, there's no trust or anything in place. So it's just about getting our affairs in order, and it can be done.
And you don't,
Right,
and if I could just say this last thing, we have so many young entrepreneurs, big people are doing business and doing well. You don't need to wait till you're in your late 40s, 50s, or whatever to now start considering this. This is something you should be considering from a young age because you want
Actually,
to,
as soon as a baby is born,
yes,
you need to go ahead and open up a
a
trust.
trust for that child because
Mhm.
you want to protect that family member because God forbid anything can happen at any moment.
Okay, so in this trust, that trust fund, is that trust fund or estate planning? Because that's two different things. So
It's
are we
all
Right.
still
under
on?
estate.
It's all under estate planning.
Will, trust, all
Okay,
of that
so
is
okay, so good. So when we talk about estate planning, that means getting your affairs in order, is what y'all just said. That means your funeral,
Mhm.
burial plans, and stuff like that. All this is under one big umbrella.
Correct.
So
Correct.
your estate, whether it be hospitalization in the event of your death, or it'll be in the event of something happened to you. So all this is, are you saying, because I want to make sure that I'm clear on that, all of this can be in under one big umbrella. So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
umbrella is the estate planning, right?
Correct.
correct.
And underneath that umbrella is your burial, uh, in the event of your passing, having that affairs in order. And
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. So every
oh, cool.
everything,
Okay.
everything,
So what
your wishes, like all
what
your
is
wishes.
what is y'all recommendation?
No.
All your wishes?
Yes. So all your wishes, including where you want to be buried, how how you want to be buried, if it's, the funeral home, the amount that it's going to cost, if you don't already have a final expense plan in order, you can always designate how much is going to go directly to the
I'm just
funeral home.
not to cut you off. Wow, yeah. That's just something people just refuse to talk about.
Right.
And
Nobody
so
wants
how
to know.
important it is
Mhm.
to have those affairs in order.
Yes.
So, and you guys are on tonight to share this information because are you able to write up this estate for them? And if
Yes.
so, how can they reach out to you all?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am able to create the trust, and as well as the power of attorneys, and the advanced directives. I'm also a notary, so I'm able to notarize those documents for you. And the way you can reach out for a consultation is to go to my website. That's tnsdocumentservices.com. And that's T as in Tom, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, documentservices.com.
Wow, that's some good information because we're seeing so many people, as what you stated earlier, doing a lot of GoFundMe. And I just think that it's important that we get smart.
Yes.
Smart about our affairs, and in the event of a loved one passing, that you are able to take care of that, So yeah, and that's good to know that you're not only writing up that, but for wills and being able to notarize it. Now, are you the one that does the filing it once it's been the contract has been written up with the client?
Yes. So once it's done and notarized, then I give the client a copy, because all you have to do is just put it up somewhere in your home. Let
Okay.
your trustee, which will be the person that is going to handle your affairs, actually give them a copy. So
Mhm.
you'll leave with multiple copies, so that every person will have one that needs one. Um, so I'll actually have a really nice little packet for you, and then I'll also help you activate your fund, because it's not activated until you transfer, if you have a home, until you transfer the house out of your name into the name of the deed. I mean, into the name of the trust. Even with your say, for instance, when you have your car, you don't have to put the car in there technically, because we all have the transfer on death, so you can already say who it's going to be transferred to. That information will be ready. And then if there's any bank accounts that you want to use, or you want to create a trust fund to go within the trust, I can also help you with that. And that's how the trust becomes active.
Okay. Now you said transfer. You said transfer your home into the trust.
Into the name.
Give me an
Into the
example
name.
of what that
So, okay.
into
So
the
when,
trust name. So what
correct.
can be the trust name?
So, okay. So let's just say right now your home is in the name of, Regina Jones, correct? Your deed.
Mm.
So when I pull up the deed information, I'll see your name on it, maybe uncle's name on it. And then, so when you transfer it into the name of the trust, it'll be transferred from your name, your government name, to and you can choose any name, to the living trust of Regina Jones. So we name your estate, or we'll name your trust like the living trust of Regina Jones, or
Mhm.
the legacy trust. So it'll go
Gotcha.
from your regular government name into
Oh, okay.
your name, or to your living trust name, and we use a warranty deed to do that. And the
Mhm.
filing for that is very easy.
Okay.
So what happens if?
Okay. Okay. Well, that
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Can you? Yeah. So what happens if someone have a home that's in that one person's name, and they got having to call them home? What happens to the home if there's no one else's name on the deed?
No. So if it's just solely in your name and you wanted to go into the trust, then we transfer it from your name into the living trust name. So when we're creating the documentation, when we're creating the trust, I'll ask you, what name would you like to call it? So if you say, the living trust of Bill Jones. Okay. Well, do you have a house? Yes. So instead of the name being in the house being in Bill Jones' name on the deed currently, then we transfer that house. We change the name from Bill Jones to the living trust of Bill Jones.
But
Right,
so
what
you
I'm
add
asking you, what?
actually you add a name in front of the original name.
Right, the living trust. So now it's in the
Okay.
trust name.
Okay.
No, but
And
what happens if there's no trust name?
no, there will always be a trust name.
If you have a trust,
You
then
have
it has
to. You
to have
have
a
that.
trust
It has to
name.
have a trust name.
And
Okay,
then most
okay.
likely within that trust, you're gonna name who will be that person to handle that affair, whether the house goes to them or not. Is that
Right. So if you know
Okay.
like who you want to transfer who
Right.
you want to give the house to upon your passing, then that person's
Mm.
name and their current address goes into that. So they'll be the one that automatically receive the house, and the deed will automatically transfer into their name.
Right.
You don't have to refinance the home. You don't have to do any of that. It's just that simple. You name who it
Okay.
is, and then that's who, upon your passing, that's who's going to get the house, and the deed is going to automatically be deeded over to them.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't even know nothing like that.
Now, I have another question for you. To do something to that caliber, how expensive is it?
Well, you know,
It could be
it can be expensive.
It depends.
I've seen you know, estate attorneys, they can charge anywhere up to, like, you know, $3,000, $5,000 for it. But you know,
But however,
you're working with TNS Document Services.
Well, that's
And-
basically
Well-
what I'm asking. What is TMS Document Service? What are their fees to do something to that caliber?
It's on their
that's
website.
the information you
It
get
depends on each.
in a consultation.
case
Right,
is
and it
different.
also, yeah, each person
Yeah.
will be different because you don't
Yeah.
know exactly.
What
Some
you
people
put
may
in.
have a lot
Exactly.
that's
And
gonna
some
go
may have
into
one
it.
thing.
Some
Mhm.
people may have one thing that'll go into it, and that's where the
Exactly.
price will depend on
Exactly.
how big your estate is.
Okay.
Also, and
I got
it's not just for personal for personal things, but if you have a business, you can do a business trust. So you can have a total, and you can have as many trusts as you like. So it's unlimited. You can have as many as you like. So if you have a business, Bill Jones Sandblasting and Painting can go into his own trust. You know, the living trust of Bill Jones Sandblasting and Painting. So that, you know, and everything
a
that happens under,
beneficiary of
you know,
that,
you
yeah.
can be a beneficiary. You can also be the trustee. So you are the grantor because you're the one that has the trust, but you can also run it. So you don't have to give anybody else control. You can be the grantor as well as the trustee that is going to run it. But you always want to have an additional secondary trustee that when you pass, that they'll be taking over and they'll follow your direction.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's good. That's good information.
Well, that's interesting. So, it's that one should consider doing, and tonight is the night to get their information regarding that. If you're interested in putting your assets in a trust or making sure that things are handled properly in the event of your passing, or just coming together as husband and wife, or if you retired and you're not quite sure and you need a little bit more counseling on
Right.
what to do and how to do it, they are here to help you tonight. They just provided their information, their website. And as they stated before, pricing is different from everybody because somebody might have a little house on the prairie and that's it. Well, it might not be that much for you. But if you got a
Right.
whole lot going on and you don't work hard with everything you got, you know what I'm saying? I think you ought to be one of the ones who will be considered reaching out to the Jacksons on their website. And again, Tamika, give them that website one more time.
Yes, ma'am. That's T as in Tom, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, documentservices.com. So TNS documentservices.com. And just go ahead and hit me up for a free consultation, and I'll be more than happy to speak with you.
And one of the other things she does is if you have a group, whether it's your coworkers, your friends, family members, she'll come out and she'll talk with all of you together so y'all can make some decisions, whether it's together, individually, go back to your families and friends with that information as well.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good information. And it's good to know that you guys are doing that because I cannot stress it enough as to we as a people should really consider getting our affairs in order, knowing that people are scratching their heads, trying to figure out what these papers are, what to do, and we just don't communicate. But we need to start communication because communication is the key right now. It makes life so much easier down the road.
Right.
Down the road, because at least you have communicated on your affairs and how you want things to be handled. In the event you're sick, that won't be a hard process. And you retire, you can set those affairs in order now. And she just stated free consultation. Okay. So free consultation, only thing you're doing is asking questions. I mean, she might say something that really cut the light on, and you say, wait a minute, this is something I should be doing, should have already done. What we was talking about earlier, Mika, you and I and Ernest earlier about funeral and people taking out policies and having your affairs together at funeral homes and not GoFundMe, because it's so funny that we're talking about this, because I always think about the fact that especially we as ladies we love handbags and love shoes. And just think about how many pair of shoes we may have in the closet that we never wear. Well, just think about how much we done paid for those shoes and how much money we done spent out. And then we have to bury a child and we don't have the money to do it. And purses, name brand purses, and our purses are name brand, but we got peppermint and lint in them. We can't afford nothing else. Yeah, I'll put it like this. Look, let me tell you something. I put it like this, that if we spend $300 on a handbag, matter of fact, let me say something else. We get our hair done, especially braids, $300. Do you know you could have paid up a policy for a year on children?
Yes.
What we spend, I'm saying, what we spend, because I was just at the place the other day, and they charge like $200 to $300 a head. Let's get smart. Let's get a little bit more wiser. Take that same money at the beginning of the year, pay a policy, pay up a policy for children. Now, especially for children, because the younger they are, the cheaper it is. As they get older, that's a different story. But I'm just making a point and stressing how important it is to get our affairs in order and do this estate planning.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. It's so important. And having your insurance policies, having your power of attorneys, having your will and your trust. It doesn't take long to put that all in order, and then you can go on about your life. It takes the ease off. You don't have to think about it, because if you really think about it, at the end of the day, it's always in the back of our minds, because we don't know when and where God is going to call us home.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, one of the things I wanted to piggyback, even in reference to that, and I think this is something we talked about earlier. A lot of times people will start off with the estate plan, doing all the things right. But sometimes I think we can go overboard as far as insurance is concerned, because we need to understand how much insurance costs. And a lot of times people say, we got a job, I ain't worried about it, my job. What if your job play out tomorrow? Then you don't have no insurance.
No
insurance.
And then if you do, no matter how much you put into it. That's right.
Yeah. And then even if you buy the insurance after you leave the job, it's more expensive. So if you take out, especially I really want to talk more about this with people who have small children, because of the fact it's so much cheaper when they're younger than when they get older. So understanding that for that $300 hairdo, you can take that. This is the truth now. This is the God on the truth check-in. You can take that $300 and pay up, really, depending on what the age is, between newborn to 12 years old. You can pay that up at least 6 months to a year with $300. And that is, don't get rich. I'm talking about a $10,000 to $15,000 insurance policy if you're not trying to collect off of it. Right. Because sometimes we run into hard times, which will cause you to have to, your insurance will collapse because of the fact your finance got so, you ran into hardship, okay? But prior to hardship, because, it's subject to happen to anybody and everybody. Keep in mind, what I spend on a suit $200-300 on a suit. Let me take that one time out of a year. You don't have to do it all the time. One time out of a year and invest in making sure my children are taken care of, making sure my family.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it early.
Yes.
And you know, and
so we have to understand. Go ahead, Ernest.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of times people more focus on the adult passing away and not really, not
Yes.
worried about a child.
Yeah.
I seen
Now they worry about the old folks. They worry about the old folks like us.
Right.
God still got some work for me to do.
Right. Yeah, but
I'm covered though. I'm covered though.
As well.
But yeah.
And
you make
a
good
parent want
point.
the best. If they lose their child, it's a terrible thing, and they want the best for that child during that time. And so, not having to worry about finances, being able to say, "Let me cash in on this policy. Let me look into this trust that I set aside for my child. I have this. I have this taken care of." That's one less burden that's in your heart during a terrible time.
Yes, come on now. Come on. That's the word right there. That's the type of burden you don't want to have to think about. Just go ahead and do whatever you have to do,
We talked about the prices of the plaques.
Yeah.
So the if anyone that's tuning in tonight, we're talking about estate planning.
Everyone.
With Ernest and Tamika Jackson, and they have information that they can provide to you. We will provide this link as well to their website if you need to get in contact with them, and just understanding that estate planning is that big umbrella, just like Medicare is a big umbrella. But underneath that umbrella, you have power of attorney, you have funeral, you have what they call that at the hospital?
Your advanced directive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
your medical girl.
And all of this is in.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want strangers making decisions.
They are the ones that will reach that. Huh?
I said you don't want strangers.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
For you.
Exactly. Talk with someone that knows something about it. Talk with this couple, and they could definitely help you along the way. And I'm sure for any information they don't have or don't know, they can get that information to you.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they are ready to help you at this point and trying to make that decision on playing it smart, get your affairs in order, and know that you can have at least a sense of peace of mind, knowing that you have taken care of some things prior to anything happening, which is not within your control. So, and this is something that we don't often talk about. This is something that we as a people need to talk more about. I got another lady that I'm going to be doing an interview with as well, that does insurance. And so we don't knock on doors anymore. That's something of the past. That's something people used to do, would knock on doors. But we're starting to introduce you to this new thing of social media. All information can be obtained on social media. And I think tonight has been one of those nights of great information for anyone that's tuned in, that's considering estate planning for your family, for your children, for your spouse, just for your family in general, to take the burden off of anyone. So is there any last comments or suggestion that you all would like to recommend to the people that may be tuning in tonight?
I would like to say my wife also does divorces. She is known for the home of the 599 divorces. Just wanted to put that out there. She's a one-stop shop. She do it all. But we want to thank you, co-pastor, for having this conversation and having us to be part of this conversation.
And you know, just think about it. Pray. Let God lead you. But then turn around and look at your family and say, do I really want to leave a burden on them? Mm-hmm. Or because I love them, let me go ahead and get my affairs in order. And do it out of love. When you do it out of love, then you know that when you pass, everything is in order. You're going to see harmony in your family. You're going to see unity. There's not going to be any arguing and any confusion. So communicate your wishes and lock them in, and everything will be just great. Thank you for having us.
And you know what, Tamika, I and while y'all was talking, I always say a peace of mind is better than anything else. Just knowing that no one have to fuss, fight, scramble to get information or where to go look for it. Communicate with somebody so that in the event of anything, sickness or anything. But I'm going back, I'm going to piggyback again on what Ernest was saying earlier about we always think this is just for the elderly, older people. No. Young people checking out like flies.
Yes.
And this, you know, we want to see them live a long time, a long future, but each generation are different. So parents, fathers, mothers, give them a call or reach out to them on the website what they just left the information, and they'll be more than happy to help you with that. I don't want to talk about the divorce.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that out there a little bit, you know, but hopefully everybody good. Look, me,
Focus on the estate planning. Focus on the estate planning.
Amen.
I know. So again and again, we want to thank you guys for coming on, sharing that information, how important it is for us as a people to understand when you work hard for anything, your legacy should be carried on by somebody.
You just said
either family, friend, but you have a legacy, especially if you worked hard for so many years to accomplish so much, and just to see that the state get it, that wouldn't just be good. I'm just gonna say it like this: bless somebody. Bless somebody. If you don't know nobody, like a family member, all my family regular. I ain't leaving that. Find a friend. Find somebody with children that is in a need of something, you know, in the events. So always think outside the box and beyond the box.
Amen.
Of blessing somebody. I think that's the thing to do. Yeah.
Yes.
So again, so you have been tuned in to the Power of Praise conversation with Co-Pastor Jones. So I know we do praise, but this is part of praise right here, because we praise God for the fact that somebody is bold enough, somebody's wise enough to share this information with you. So that's a praise report for me.
Amen.
So the power is the praise. So
Amen.
again and again, we thank you too so much for just stepping in and stepping up and sharing this information with people. I plan on having you all on here again before the end of the year, because this is something we need to keep in rotation, keep it on people's mind of things that they need to get involved in doing. And that is making sure that your affairs are in order. Mm-hmm.
Amen.
All right. So we thank y'all so much again. And
God
just be encouraged. Yeah. So God bless you. Until next time.
Amen.
All right. All right, all right.
Oh yeah, get on your knees and call on the Lord.
All right.
You got so much
So
trouble.
thank you once again. Till next week. God bless you, keep you, and strengthen you.
You see, Jesus will make a way out of no way.